to be
welcome
probably
to the
early
Newbury
spring.
Police Department, the new facility, the new training room that actually you are pretty much christening with this fine crew here. Thank you for coming, and I hope you're enjoying your lunch. What we have going on here today is it's a topic that's very, very important, especially this time of year with fraud issues through credit card frauds, online frauds, and scams. And elder fraud is a very, very growing and concerning situation. I will tell you this: everyone can be victimized by this. It doesn't matter if you're 10 years old all the way up. If you know how to use a computer, if you have access, this is something that everybody needs to hear. But this topic right now today is going to be focusing on what you folks might be seeing and getting prepared if you see something suspicious coming across your electronic device and how to handle that. So that's what the spirit of this Lunch and Learn is. And I just want to acknowledge how this came to be and the partnership that was constructed to make this happen. And we want to give a special thanks to the Newburyport Bank, the Newburyport Council on Aging, Howard Investigative Services, and the Newbury Police Department, again, is happy to be a part of that partnership. So I just want to acknowledge that group and thank you very much for your efforts on that. Representing this partnership, we have Amy Leary and Amanda Kelcourse from the Newburyport Bank, right there and there, yeah. Cindy Currier, Kathy Zaremba, I did it, and Janet Delmare are from the Newburyport Council on Aging. You folks all know them.
So we're the Newbury.
What did I just say?
Newburyport.
Oh, I'm sorry, Newbury. Good. Thank you for paying attention. You passed.
I win, right?
And then Tom Howard is 15 years service in the as the city marshal for Newburyport. We're lucky to have him here from Howard Investigative Services, and he is going to be giving this class. And it's from my department. I'm very proud and glad to introduce Deputy Chief Fisher, who was very instrumental in making this happen, and our Detective Sergeant Aaron Wachkowski, who is also a big part of making this curriculum and this project happen. He couldn't be here, but I just want to acknowledge him as well. For a few housekeeping things, the restrooms are downstairs, right in the lobby that you had come up. We have Martha Leahy here. She's here to assist with any going back and forth, going up and down the elevator, the staircase, with any direction. She's right on the other side of the glass lobby that's outside that door, and she'll assist you in any way you need. Also in that lobby, we have coffee and water for your refreshment. You're welcome to. Am I forgetting anything? Let's see here. The other thing too that should be known is this event and this training is being recorded too, so just keep that in mind too. So be nice. Any questions? Yeah, okay. This guy right here, we're gonna watch. Any questions as far as the facility or anything I can help with? We're good. We'll enjoy and learn something. Mr. Howard?
Thank you, Chief. So I'll do my best this morning to talk slow because my wife tells me I talk way too fast. The second thing being is the day before you're going to do a presentation, don't start screwing with the presentation because it doesn't work out well for you. So if something's missing, we'll put it back. So we're in partnership, as the Chief had said. I've been working with the Newburyport Bank for a long period of time. They've been great partners in trying to look out for their people that they service. And in that they're working on putting this together today. So it's been a proactive thing. They're always looking to safeguard the assets of their people that bank with them. They've done it through sponsoring these type of trainings. And also they provide a personalized anti-fraud consultation with anybody that they service. So if somebody is in the bank that they feel might be either getting swindled or having their assets disappear on them, they'll recommend, without ever saying who that person is, and engage my services if somebody might be of benefit to them. So it's a great little service that they do. They pay for it, but they'll give you anti-fraud consultations to ensure that you're not losing your life savings. So the scams that are out there now, I mean, I think we can all pick any one of these and we've seen them, whether it be the charities, the grandparents, home improvements, the shopping online. They're all over the place. We're trying to hit on some of them today. So AARP has just talked about, in the past year, businesses and imposters were $58 million was lost to them. IRS was $58 million, investments 47, online shopping 33, the family and friends 21, the 17,000 in timeshare, the tax sweepstakes and romance is 84 million. This is just from this past, in 2020, when they were talking about that. And it's up, so there's 334 million, 1,000 flood complaints for people over 60 years of age in 2020. Any idea why such a great increase in 2020?
COVID.
Oh, COVID. So we can add one more thing that COVID has done for us, right? Social media has seen a 300% increase from 2019, and they get a total $600 million that people over the age of 60 lost in 2020. Those are huge numbers that people, their life savings, in most cases, that's what's happened, is it's their life savings that they're losing. The main reason was isolation, as somebody had said over here. When you take people away from people and we isolate them someplace, and then we give them social media, which none of us really need, what does that do? It gives us an avenue to take and use that highway to take and communicate with other people. We're communicating with a screen, with a person we have no idea who they are, we have no idea where they are, or anything else about them, but yet we're having these conversations and we're having these interactions, and as a result, $600 million is missing out of people over the age of 60. So why seniors? Number one, it's really easy accessibility. We're all around. We're not working. We're not off any place. We're usually home. Most seniors still have phones in their homes. Most seniors still answer their phones in their homes. You have accessible funds. The people that scam people realize that the most money out there that is in savings are people that are retired, that they have worked their whole life to get their money. So it's not the kids that are out there that have maxed out on their credit cards. It's not the younger people that are spending all their money. It's the seniors who have saved their whole life in hopes of using that money to take and further their enjoyment through life. So they know that those are, number one, the easiest people that have the money to get it. Low risk. I don't ever see you. Right? I'm doing all this through the phone calls, online, through the mail. And if I do, in fact, have to see you, I'm going to send some schmuck to your house that's a runner for me, so you're never going to see me. The risk is very low that I'm going to get caught. Senior people are over-trusting. I think we see it every day when you take and see people anywhere, so you go to see somebody. It's a lot easier to communicate with somebody that's older than somebody that's younger. They'll say hi to you, they'll respond to you, they'll enjoy a conversation with you, they're more sharing, if you will. Whereas a lot of the people we see today are more inclusive, they're very quiet, they're to themselves, it's all about me. So it's a whole different social group and a much more caring group. And seniors become emotionally involved. I don't know of any senior person you can talk to that if you don't start to tell them a story that they won't engage in it, won't become involved in it. Certainly if it involves some type of bad situation, whether it be an illness, somebody that's in need of something. People of senior age always seem to be the first ones to jump in and want to help out and try to benefit or take and solve something for somebody else. And lastly, none of us want to agree to this, but including me, brain function. As we get older, our brain does not work the same as it did when we're 20 years of age. We forget things, we're over-trusting, it's just our brain function is not the same as it was when we're 20. So they know that, and they capitalize on that situation. Utility scam. So how many of you have had a call from the utility company that said they're going to shut off your power? Anybody?
Yes.
And with that, how many have had a call from the utility company talking about they've got a new system or they've got a new company that's changed that now owns the electric company, and they're looking to take and get your information. So I have one interesting one. I like messing with these people on the phone, by the way. This guy calls me and he says to me, we're going to be shutting off your power. You're in the rears. I goes, I'm very concerned. What happened? He goes, well, you've got 15 minutes. 15 minutes, right? So there is the first alarm, folks, 15 minutes, right? He goes, you got 15 minutes to take and make this right. So I said to him, do you need my credit card? He goes, oh, no, 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 we would never do that. We will just take it from your gifts, your routing number for your bank account. I went, holy crap. This guy's got the best of it. If he goes for my credit card, he may get nothing, right? I give him my checking account number, and he just cleaned my account out. So we played along with the game, but again, good system. The power company is never going to call you and ask you for anything that, and if they do, they have your information. So if somebody's asking you for something, ask them what they have first, right? I mean, you're calling me, you should know who I am.
Marshall Howard, I'd like to jump in on that. My mom lives in an in-law apartment to my house. She has no utilities. Weekly, I would say, she gets a phone call from National Grid saying they're about ready to shut the power off in our house and that she needs to provide them with her bank information right away, or else the power's going to be shut off. And no matter, I tell her over and over again, we're up to date on our bill, we don't owe anything, we're good, but they continually call. She's had the same phone number since I was a kid. She answers her phone, but they panic that fear. They say to her, we need payment by noon today. So she feels like she doesn't even have enough time to call me, thank God for texts, to say, do you need me to pay this bill for you? And the answer is always no, we don't. But they continually call her over and over for that utility scam all the time.
So just to be clear, the power company is never going to shut off your power. Certainly this time of year, all right? It's against the law, number one. So your power is not going to get shut off. You ever get that phone call? It's a scam, it's fraud, do not listen to it, do not buy into their stupidity. Another one that they play on is the equipment. We're upgrading equipment. So Comcast calls you, you've got an old router, you've got an old computer box for your TV. You're required to do this upgrade, and unfortunately it's going to cost you $25, $50 or something if they can do this. Again, they are never going to call you and tell you, number one, that there's an upgrade that's going to cost you money, and they're not going to take and do anything without either sending somebody out there or sending something to you in the mail that explains what's going on. So anytime somebody's asking you for money on the phone or through a lot of emails at this point, be wary of where that conversation is coming from. Overpayment, this is a really good one, right? We will all buy into this one because they're not asking us for money, they're going to give us money. And I don't know of anybody out there giving out money lately either, except for maybe Uncle Sam, but again, what they're asking for, we're going to give you money, so it's an easy buy-in because a lot of people on fixed incomes, you know, the first when you hear the word give you money, it's helpful. What they're asking you for is they're asking you for your banking account numbers, right, so they can put the money back into the account. The only way that money's going is out of the account, all right? Nothing's coming back into it. So, again, any phone calls, any emails that are asking you for this type of information, dollar for dollar is a scam. Don't do it. This is a real classic. So, utility agents, city employees, town employees. So you buy the helmet for $14.65. You buy the vest for $5.05. All right. So what does that person look like? Who is that person, or what are they at? Right. Person.
Those are always done. It's like my
I tell you what, you're going to get them on. Can you believe this? This is not supposed to happen in the demonstration. But anyway, so here we go. There you go. So here's the deal, right? I show up at your house. I have this on. I put the helmet on, right? $5, $20. I throw this tag on. It says the city, right, National Grid, we're all set to go. How many are gonna let this person into your house? He's got the helmet, he's got the vest on, he's got the ID, right? I wanna check your meter. Doesn't work. If that truck out front doesn't say National Grid on it, you ain't coming in the house, all right? Don't be afraid to call National Grid, don't be afraid to call the town of Newbury and ask them, is there somebody out there that's really doing this? And don't use the phone number they're giving you. Go find the phone number for the town and make the phone call. Because the number they're gonna give you obviously is gonna go to one of their friends that's gonna take and work with them to take and complete the scam. Again, $20 can get you into a house, and once they're in there, they can have access to almost anything you can possibly imagine.
John, I want to just say, one of the new scams I'm seeing, CVS in particular, you get an email from them and look at the address where it's come from, okay, because it's,
Yep.
and it's not CVS.
Yep.
Okay, and
All-
it's happening
all of
now,
them.
it's happening with Comcast, it's happening with CVS, and so you just gotta be careful, because they're offering, it's like, you know, yeah, we can do this.
Yep.
And like, but even your medical records, it's like, they get access to that kind of stuff, it's dangerous.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's like, I mean, as a pharmacist, and it's like I'm just freaked what I see out there now, that comes across my computer daily.
I can make my phone call right now to any one of you in the room and have it come up to Newbury Police,
Yeah,
all right? I can make any one of you believe, well, I can make it come up that it's your family member. So you can't believe what you're seeing, which is kind of sad that when, you know, like, we don't make everybody feel like, you know, the whole world is coming down on us and nothing's real. And it's just, we just got to use common sense, and we got to use our thought process, and we got to use time. And time is our best friend. Anything that's going to be made immediately is never a good decision. And if it has to be made immediately, it's never a good decision. So time will always be your friend, whether you're trying to talk to somebody about somebody, whether you're trying to do an investment, whether you're trying to buy time. Because if you don't have the time, they're going to take you into a situation you don't want to be involved in.
With this utility scam, when you mentioned if it doesn't have the power company truck outside, we've heard as part of the scam with this, when you have just a regular pickup truck out front, I'm a subcontractor for National Grid. Nope, that some people would believe in that. Don't believe that. You can always call the police department. We will send a cruiser. We'll run that plate. We can confirm with employers whether or not this is real. We can take care of it, but that, just be aware that I'm a subcontractor for is part of their scam if you do ask them about why their vehicle isn't consistent with vehicles that you've seen in the past.
In many of those situations, which the police department is your best friend, because they're always going to be the one there that's can take and make that decision. Like you're trying to find a number for National Grid, you're going through all this, call the police, right? They're going to come to your house, they're going to solve the problem. If the person that's really supposed to be there, they'll still be there. If the police are coming and they don't belong there, they ain't going to be there, all right? They're moving on very quickly. So the pigeon drop is a good one, all right? How many of you get that? You've won. You've won. You've won. You signed up for this thing, you've won.
Click here.
You never have to send money to get money, all right? If it's free, it doesn't mean it costs anything. So the pigeon drop is simply people being persuaded to believe that you've won this big jackpot, and all you got to do is send in the administrative fee to collect on it. A couple of years ago, I did one of these, and there was a gentleman in the room, and we went through this whole scenario. And a couple of weeks later, he was a person from the bank. He called me, and he says, "You're not going to believe this, but I just got a $500,000 check." I said, "Yes," and he said, and I'm sorry, this guy has been swindled in the past. That's number one, why the bank involved me in the guy. And two, he had attended one of these classes. And so he says to me, "I got a $500,000 check, and they only want $2,500 to collect on this." I goes, "You got to be kidding me, right? Like, you're not doing this." He goes, "But I need the money." I goes, "It's not real money," right? So I said, "Where are you?" And he tells me. I go over there, and I was hoping to find it. I didn't find it today to bring the check with me, but they sent him a $500,000 check All they want is some cash from him to take an administrative fee, if you will, to take and get the money. I could not make him understand, number one, you've been swindled in the past on the same type of scheme, and you're going down the same road again. So you don't have to give money to get money. It just doesn't work. Another one that plays into this one, and it's becoming deals on the internet, it's shopping malls, is where I got this hell of a deal for a TV set, or I got this computer system, it's normally $2,500, and I'm getting it now for $99.99, right? Our minds already tell us it doesn't work out right, but our inside say to us, it's a damn good deal, I really want this deal. So you take and you start to buy into that. Online they do this. You may run into somebody at the mall, and what they do is they take your money, and you may be buying in volume, like you can get 3 of these for the price of 1. Let me go in and make the final arrangements for it. Let me go out back, meet me out back, and I'll bring him out the back door. You go out back, he ain't never coming, right? You walk in the store a while later, you realize, you're out the money. The same thing online. You take and you make the payments, you sit there and you hope, and in your mind you're saying to yourself, please tell me I haven't been scammed. Please tell me I haven't been scammed. And in fact, that day comes when you realize you have been. So prevention. You never have to send money to win money. A great classic is when they say, you submitted all your stuff when you're at a fair or something. You say to yourself, geez, I don't remember filling that out. I got a vacation, I don't remember signing up for a vacation. You didn't, all right? They're fishing, they're going and looking for you. You never have to return money for an overpayment. They send you money, you get a check and they say, we made a mistake, you won this money, it's, $5,000. Unfortunately, we made a mistake and we sent you $7,500. So you can keep the $5,000. We ask that you send back the $2,500. You put the money in the bank, everything looks good, you send them back the $2,500, and then you get the call from the bank 3 or 4 days later. Guess what? The bank says the check is junk. You're owed $2,500. They don't know where that money went because 90% of the stuff goes out of the country, so it's never coming back. You can call the police, they'll do everything they can to help you, but I'll tell you that 99% of the time, your money is not coming back. As much as they want to help you, they can't get the people that did it. If you didn't enter the contest again, you can't be the winner. There's nothing free in this world. At some point, you're going to pay. And so the simple solution is personal information should stay private and you should share it with nobody ever. When it takes immediate action, when we talked about, sorry for people I'm jumping in front of all the time here. When they talk about something has to be done immediately, it's never a good idea. It's always going to be some situation where you're going to get yourself into a jam. So if it's a public company, you're going to shut your stuff off in 15 minutes. If it's that deal that you can only take and get once in a lifetime, but you've got an hour in which to do it. All those things that take and talk about time. Time is always going to be on your side as long as you use it. Don't let it be on their side as being the way to get you. So in the name of love, here we go, right?
Here we go.
1908 to 1916. Does anybody know the arsenic and lace story? No? So this lady, actually, it turns out I did some research on this the other day. She lived in Windsor, Connecticut, and she opened up, before they had legalized rest homes in boarding houses, she opened one up. And you could pay by the week, or you could pay a lifetime, one-time deal for $1,000. So she opens this up, and she had, I think it was up to 10 rooms. The first guy she marries dies within a year. Then the second year, the second person that she was involved with dies suspiciously. That's not really bad, because there's only 2 deaths in 2 years. Over the next 4 years, 46 people died mysteriously, and nobody knows. There was always stomach ulcers, there was always this, that, the other thing. So this went on for a long time. I mean, you would think the bells would have gone off in somebody's head when 46 people die in your place and 5 years. But nobody caught on until some lady all of a sudden decides and figures out that one of her relatives had talked about, was communicating with this lady about money and funds. And so you do this big investigation. Lo and behold, she ends up going to jail for murder. But the point of the matter being was, the people that gave her the lifetime money seemed to die very quickly thereafter. So,
The bottom line there.
be careful who you share your money with. Online marketing sites, Mr. Right, Mrs. Wrong. There's so many sites out there today, and there's so many people just wanting to take and enjoy conversation with somebody, spend time with somebody. Whatever the situation may be in life, you're becoming, you're the survivor of somebody that's died in your family. Your family's moved away, you don't have family. We're all looking for some type of comfort and some type of involvement. And unfortunately, many of us now go to the internet and we go to these sites to kind of communicate, which is not a bad thing. It's just about what we do once we get there and what we give them when we get there.
One of the things that we've seen with that happens quite often is, it is not uncommon to have long distance relationships nowadays because of the internet. And you can speak to them online, you can speak to them through email, you can speak to them on the phone. And one of the common schemes that we're actually seeing in town with that is, send me money so that I can fly to come see you. And then you've been in this relationship with this person for months and months and months at this point. You are faithful and exclusive to them, so of course you send them the money that they need to get the ticket. They don't want you booking the ticket for them, they want you sending them the money so that they can book the ticket and come see you, and then they go missing. And we get the calls from people saying, I need a well-being check on my boyfriend, I've been dating him, here's all of his information, and lo and behold, that person doesn't exist. You've just been dating online with this, catfish scheme.
To go that a little bit farther, after
Yeah.
you buy the tickets or send them money for the tickets, oh, lo and behold, something happened, I need some more money. Unfortunately, the car broke down. Whether they're getting you for more money before you realize it. And then we get into those situations where we're given so much, we're afraid to stop because we don't want to make them mad. Right? If we make them mad, that means they ain't coming, and I lost all that money, so we keep buying into it deeper and deeper until now we're in it too deep. You're talking to a computer screen, all right? We're not talking to a real person here. We're talking to a computer screen. We don't know anything about them. Everything can be false. I can send you a picture of me that's not going to be real. I can send you photos. I can send you phone numbers. I was over to Market Walmart yesterday, and for $45, I can buy a throwaway phone, right, with a phone number.
Yeah.
$45, right? And I can take and use that for 30 days, no warranties, no problems, and then I can throw it away, right? Because you have to reload it in 30 days. So for 30 days, I can call the world. I can communicate with anybody. And it's all bogus, right? It means nothing.
I can create false social media accounts, fake Facebook accounts, fake Instagram accounts where I'm sharing these fake pictures of myself, doing things that are in line with the things that I'm telling you that I'm doing, places that I'm going. I can tag myself in places and locations on social media that I'm not actually at. And then when I have the money, when I've scammed you, all of a sudden that Facebook account is gone, that Instagram account is gone, that phone number is gone, and then it's too late to get your money back. We have zero idea of who this person is, even though you've been communicating with them as a partner for months and months.
Or where they are.
Yeah, or where they even
What
are.
country they're in.
Yep, what country
It's
they're
not about
in.
what status or what country they're in. So, again, to the point of the deputy chief here, don't send money. Limit what you share with people when you've met them online. You can have a great conversation, but be careful where the conversation goes because they kind of lead the conversation. How's the weather? How's this? How's that? How's your family? So, okay, how's your family? So now they're buying into, do you have family?
Yeah, they have
Right?
family
So
information.
the more that they ask the questions and stuff, and all of a sudden you realize, wait a minute, they're asking all the questions, I'm making all the answers here, but I don't know crap about them because I'm talking to a computer screen. Be thinking all those we're not saying doom and gloom for everything, I'm just saying, be mindful of what you're doing and who you're sharing that information with. If you're gonna meet with them, meet them someplace in public so that you don't become a victim of them. So, you've met somebody online, you've talked to them, okay, you wanna meet up, meet someplace, and if you just wanna take and have somebody like Sally beside you because they're gonna be very uncomfortable, have Joe or somebody come and sit a few tables away from you or at the counter so that you've got somebody with you, but they're not with you, but there's somebody there on your behalf to make sure you're safe.
Just the way the Newry Police has done a nice job, you got two spots right out here.
Yes.
So if you want to exchange, if you want to buy something, you want to do it face to face, you can just go and do it right here. And I think you got cameras on
It
it.
is, yes, we have cameras on that spot, so you may see, when you pull into the station, there's two spots separately identified for either child custody exchange or internet purchase exchange. Anyone from any community.
I've been surprised how much,
Yeah,
the first child custody I see all the time, but
Yeah.
even I'm now seeing people buy
yes.
and sell, which is a good thing because you can see them.
Yes,
don't have
we
a
can
screen.
see them,
You don't
we've
have
got
a-
license
you
plate
don't-
numbers,
you don't get a
we've got
screen.
descriptions,
Right.
yes. So our dispatch center has a camera on those two spots so that if you're doing any sales, it's monitored, and if there's anything wrong or suspicious, you just walk straight in the door and say, that car on that camera that just drove off
Right.
just took my money and, or whatever happened.
And we're really hopeful that the bad guy is not gonna take and do an exchange at the police station.
Yes.
We're really hopeful of that.
But that's a clue, right? If
That's
you
a-
say
right.
to somebody, come meet me at the police, this is where I wanna do that purchase exchange, and they say, no, how about we meet at the old police station instead, because I know where that is. You say no. You come to the new, and if they don't, then that right there is the
That's a
clue
good-
you need,
That's a good
that this is,
one. I
this
didn't
is
think
a
about that.
scam. Yeah,
Let's go to the old police station.
yeah,
So again, keep your information private, be careful how much you supply to other people, and don't be secretive about your new friend. You know, have a conversation with somebody you trust, whether it be a family member, a friend, or something like that. Don't let somebody put you into isolation. Have a conversation with somebody. You don't want to be in a situation where they now take and control you. When you start to control you, you lose all ability to take and make rational, informed decisions. And they're very good at what they do. So be mindful of the fact that when somebody starts you communicating with somebody, whether it be on the phone, online, be careful of how they, well, geez, don't be talking about me to her because, I've had problems in the past and they're probably not gonna like me. It's an alarm. Anytime somebody doesn't want you talking about them to somebody else, it's an alarm that you should at least think about, that you're probably going down a path that you don't want to be going down. Anybody seen these or anybody use these? Anybody know what they are?
Yeah, QR code.
So what they are is the quick codes, the quick response codes. They've made a great comeback because of COVID. Again, our friend COVID, it keeps coming. They're on everything. They're on menus, they're for payments, and all sorts of things. On the way over, I grabbed coffee today and I looked and there's one right there. Just hit your phone and bang, it's there. They're all good things and you grab a lot of stuff off of that. But being the scamsters, they think, okay, if people are using that, that means I now have to get good at what I'm doing. So they take, and they've made up these same codes and they put them places, and what it does, it brings you someplace, and what's it ask us for? Like everything else, right? Our information. And we get sucked into giving our information. It might be for something free, again, right? When Google gives you free email, when anybody gives you free anything, what are they looking for? They're looking for your data. Data is power.
Money.
And that's what they're looking for. Google's not giving you Gmail because they think you're nice people. They're collecting all your stuff, right? Because you're giving it to them. So we become victims because of all this thinking about how do we take and do things at a more reasonable rate. These can be text, they can be emails, they can be on posters. They're putting places where you go to a store and there's what seems to be a great code. So you take and you scan it. Unfortunately, somebody has brought in a sticker and put it over the real one, and now you're taking and you're using a bad scanner. So they're not getting anything from you at that point. All you're doing is shooting it, it's on your phone. It's when you take the action to respond to whatever's on there that you think you're in a good place, right? I'm at Dunkin' Donuts. Well, geez, they want my information, right? So I start pounding in my information because I got an account at Dunkin' Donuts. Well, I had an account at Dunkin' Donuts, they just took all my money.
Question?
Supplement. When you do scan those QR codes, they are nice, and most phones, unless there's something wrong with your phone, will say, do you want to go to X? And it'll say, do you want to go to Dunkin.com, I think is their current URL, their web address. It'll tell you on the screen, do you want to go here? If it looks even slightly, or you can't read the whole address, you can simply back out of that, ignore it, click home, click anything but that little thing that says go here, and you can backpedal out of it without committing to anything.
So sometimes when you do that, you say, go to browser, or go to.
Yeah, a little thing will pop up, like you said,
Yeah.
you go over, you hit the code, and it will say,
Go to browser.
do you want to open X? When in doubt, say no.
Exactly.
And now restaurants as
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
you can ask still for paper menus. I've seen that. So if you're uncomfortable using that, or if you do scan a code and you're unsure of what's popped up, you can always say to the waiter or the waitress, can I please have the paper menu? And they will give it to you.
Again, we've all said, the links, they take you someplace you don't want to be. That's the whole intent of them. And they've always placed in places that we're a people of being curiosity. We see one, I wonder what that means, right? You hit the thing, right? You want to see what it says, right? And lo and behold, you're now downloading stuff, or you're going someplace you have no idea where you're going. So be mindful when you use these things of where they're located as to what may be happening. Amazon shopping alerts. Everybody must have got one of those, right? So Amazon does
Only 4.
306 items per second, which is 26 million per day.
Jesus.
They handle a lot, I can think of another word, but a lot of inventory in the course of a day. How many of you have had a call about a new purchase on your Amazon account? Well, number one, how many have had Amazon? You know? How many have got the phone call that somebody made a purchase on your, and they're questioning whether or not it's legit?
Emails too.
Yeah, email.
Emails.
Well,
Yep.
exactly, because I have more than one email, but the one that I use for Amazon is different than the one I keep getting this alert on that it's Amazon telling me there's a problem in my account. Yeah, the problem is I don't have you as my account, that's the problem. But it's a way of getting you to, number one, what the first thing happens is alert, right? Somebody's into my account, and then now what am I gonna do? Did they get my password? How did they get my password? Do I have to change it? Calm down. Right? Again, time. Slow down. They're constantly doing this. Email a lot for the same thing, the same type of fraud. Call about a new account. Somebody has opened an account on your behalf, and again, and they look real. They put the emblem in it. They look real. But if you look and dig into it, you'll find that the accounts, number one, don't take you where they're supposed to be taking you. So if you have a concern, call Amazon, go to your account and look at it. Don't follow through when it says, if you did not make this purchase, click here and we'll take it. Yeah, all right, I'll click right there, right? Because you're clicking yourself into some place you don't want to be, and they're going to ask you for your information, and next thing you know, it's gone.
I don't have an Amazon account, and every day I get at least one of these new purchase on my account, and I don't know how that happened, but
Feel good.
delete,
People a lot of stuff.
delete.
Right, yeah, exactly. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
I've gotten you've made over $1,000 worth of purchases today, click here to verify your purchases.
Oh.
Nope, I'm not clicking there, I go into my Amazon account and pending purchases, no pending purchases there, delete.
That's
Yeah.
the other thing that's happening. Both my wife and I have worked all our lives, okay? In the last 6 months, we both were unemployed because of job situations, all right? Both of us applied for unemployment, and both of us had identity fraud. Mine still hasn't been straightened away. Hers, it took 6 weeks, okay, but they had, because we hadn't used it ever, okay, they said, this is a dead one, okay, we can use the account, and they don't think anyone our age is gonna use it anymore. Well, we were still working. I mean, I'm probably the youngest in the room. We were still working. But they jumped right on it. And like I said, so somebody was collecting on Leslie's name, and somebody was collecting on my name. And it's ridiculous. I mean, it's scary how deep it's gotten. And I mean, it's gotten to the point where,
The spin-off of that is, a number of years back now, my wife and we took our kids up to Niagara Falls, and I used my credit card for the whole trip. She used hers once, TGIF Fridays, and she paid for the meal, and they left. And when they left, it's a scanner, it's about this big. And all they did was swipe her information into the scanner. This was a waitress that worked there, and we're on our way. And by the time we got home, there was $21,000 in purchases on her account
yeah,
that they'd made, simply because somebody had a scanner. So you'll notice a lot of places now, when you take and use your credit card, they bring the scanner to you and they take and do it in front of you,
yeah.
simply because you don't want to lose sight of your card. And if you do, like you give it to the waitress, just be mindful of where they're going, kind of like keep an eye on them to see what's going on, because it's a piece no bigger than this, and all it does is just the barcode, they slide it, and you've got the information.
The other,
Well, credit cards, you are protected up to $50, and credit card companies never collect that $50. But people use debit cards, if you don't have the protection.
Right.
They'll clean out your...
Two things. Number one, credit card companies will not, they're not interested in chasing anybody, right? They pass it on to the interest charges to everybody else. I mean, they're not taking the loss, somebody else is taking the hit, which is gonna be all of us that have credit cards. But you're right, if you're using the debit side of that, the money is gone. There's no collecting, it's gone. So, again, just be mindful of what you're doing and where you're at and who's got your information.
and even aside from the readers, everybody's on their phones all the time. All I need to do is snap a quick picture of the front and back of your card on my personal cell phone if I don't have a reader, and I can do damage that way too, because I have the account number, the way your name is spelled, the expiration date, and then the 3-digit code on the back. And I can, I can sell that information, I can, use it myself, it can go to a PO box and God knows where, and it's so hard to track. It's so difficult to track, if not impossible.
Gift card opportunities. How many have gotten a gift card opportunity where if you take and fill out this or whatever, you've got an Amazon card, some money from Amazon? A lot of times we believe that means that Amazon is the one putting that out there. It is not Amazon putting it out there, it's somebody else. They're using Amazon as being the buy-in for you, again, for what? To give your information to them so they have it. So spoofing, what is it? It's a request from a false sender, email address, to provide sensitive information to somebody else. They disguise the communication so that whether it be a text, an email, a phone call, website, from an unknown source, making you believe it's a trusted source, which is what we talked about earlier. Like I changed my phone number to be Newburyport Bank. I send you an email, and it's Amazon.com, but this one's Amazon.us. It's those things where everything looks legit, but you're being sent to a fraudulent provider. Or they look pathetic, they're vicious, and they're sending you something so it's not going to be a good ending for you. So think about it, investigate, respond, take action when responding to these things. Be sure you respond to credit card. If you get a problem with your credit card that says a problem with your account, the phone number on the credit card is the phone number you should be using, not the number that's provided to you. The phone number on the credit card will give you the right place to go to find out whether or not you have an issue with your account.
A quick question for the bank. Who's the bank people here? So if he said debit card, so let's say if I go to a restaurant using my debit card, do you people have 24/7? So all of a sudden I look at my debit card and all of a sudden I see another transaction that I didn't do. What do I do?
We have a fraud department, so we.
Is it open 24/7?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I could call right
So
away.
you would call the fraud line, and they would shut down your card immediately.
Okay.
and then, investigate from there.
That's the only, that's one thing I do all the time is everything on my debit card comes to my screen.
And we have a
Yes,
system now that we use that will recognize, familiar purchases that you make, and if anything's in question, you would get a phone call from the fraud
Yeah,
company.
yeah.
This happened to my daughter. They were trying to, somebody was trying to shoot an Uber from California. So right away, the fraud company texted her, and I said, you need to call the number. So she called the number, and they said, no, that is fraud. So they shut it down immediately,
Right.
and then, they weren't able to put that charge through.
Just one other thing real quickly. Like I said, this isn't new. Back in 2004, I had the summer off between leaving one job, going to another, and I was bored. So I went online and I got an email from Secret Shoppers. You want to be a secret shopper? And it was the girls down the bank that caught me though, because they sent me, you go to Western Union, we'll have a check there waiting for you. We want you to go to the 3 stores that are in the plaza, buy $60 worth of stuff. It's yours, okay? And they said, then the follow-up was, go back, no, they said the next thing, we'll send you a check now, okay, just to do the same thing. We wanted to see if you would work out. And so I brought the check to the bank, and whoever was on, this was 18 years ago. Whoever was on says, these people, I says, no, don't do it, okay? And I said, but I goes like, he goes, no. And sure enough, it was bad check.
Sure.
Like I says, saved me $180, thank you ladies. But that's, that was 18 years ago.
Well,
And it's only gotten better.
It's
only gotten
full-time
better.
business.
That's why, like I said, that's why I came over today, just, it scares the hell out of me.
Ladies said the best thing of the whole, you get an email, you don't know who it is, the best button you get in there is delete.
Delete.
Don't open it.
Yeah.
You can't get hurt if you see it, delete.
And a lot of them that you'll see, and what we have seen working at the bank, is spelling errors.
Yes.
So right
Oh, yeah.
away, that is a huge,
Yep.
huge flag. We see a lot of that. Everything was spelt, wrong in the emails as well. So you see that, and
Which brings us back
Spelling or
to,
grammar, yes.
many of these
Yes.
are not coming from this country, so they have a
Exactly.
problem.
right?
And we're gonna get to that problem. in a
Referring
second.
to me as Mr. Fisher instead of Mrs. Fisher,
Exactly.
small things like that.
Yeah.
That happen, yes.
It's like it came from me. If
Yeah,
there's a
the
spelling error, it came from me.
The Nigerian prince.
The Nigerian prince scam, yes.
Dear
Don't
pretty
provide
lady.
information to allow somebody remotely into your computer.
This is big. This happens all the time.
Somebody says there's some issue, I love when they say this, do you have your computer? I always say, yeah, which one? I got 3 of them. Which one's near you? I don't know, I got all 3, which one you want? Well, go to your computer and turn on, and then, here we go, right? You're going down the road. Now, there's a problem with your computer. What they're finally asking you to do is click on this, click on that. Before you know it, all of a sudden you start watching, your mouse starts moving, like they now have control of your computer and all your stuff.
All your saved passwords,
But again,
everything.
what happens? It's panic.
Yeah.
Something happens and panic sets in, and we don't take the time to think, right, and buy time, and we take and respond, and that's what gets us into trouble.
The Microsoft pop-up, the Microsoft pop-up, I should say, is the one we see most frequently, is you need to renew
Yeah.
your Microsoft security setting that pops up. It's the same color blue as Microsoft with the same font that they use in their logo, and you click there, and then next thing you know, your computer shuts down. So even be careful of pop-ups. There's nothing wrong of taking your phone and taking a picture of the pop-up screen and bringing it to a neighbor, a friend, the police, one of your kids, and saying, hey, I got this on my computer, what should I do about that? Because if it truly is a licensing thing, there's going to be a way to renew it. Once that box disappears, if it doesn't reappear, or or if it's not legitimate, they're going to want your business. They're going to want you to fix it. You can bring your computer. There's plenty of places where you can bring your computer. Yep.
If you have to do a panic maneuver, just press and hold the power button until it shuts down. If your computer's really making the error message, it will come up again. If you just shut down the computer hard, don't worry, it can handle it. I know
No, it can.
they say you shouldn't do it, but you can do it. And you come back up, and the error message, that pop-up doesn't come back, you've dodged a bullet.
Yes.
If it comes up again, then by all means, like they said, take some notes, take a picture, find someone who speaks Windows who can find out.
Yeah.
But again, it's about time.
Nothing needs to happen and be fixed right now.
No, Microsoft will never come after you.
No.
I've been doing this for more years than I care to count. It's not in their best interest to come after you. They'll let your unlicensed version run for as long as you keep using their stuff.
Here's one, fearfulness, because whether you were or were not at an inappropriate site, you may get one of these things that can flash on your screen that says, hey, we know that you've been to some site, you've done this and you've done that, and you've got 24 hours to give us some money, or else we're going to expose you to all your friends. We've got your list of all your friends from your Facebook and all these other things, and we're going to take and shoot the blast out there that's going to take and expose you and where you've been. It's all crapola, right? Whether you've been there or whether you feel like you've been there or whatever the case may be, they're not going to get you. They're not going to blast your information everywhere. Don't give them the money. Don't reset your password because they've told you that there's a problem. Like, they're going to give you a link. Reset your password here. I guess we're going like this, over this and over this and over this, but it's the same thing where they bring you someplace you don't want to be, and what you're actually doing is you're giving them your password to get in and have havoc with your accounts. Financial scams, the coercion using threats, violence, again like the one we just talked about. Drain joint accounts, where it may be a family member that's going in there. Be mindful who has your information, who has access to your stuff, because a lot of this stuff today can be done remotely, so they don't have to go to a bank to be seen. They just go in there and they can do it remotely. So be careful who you share and who has the ability to drain the account. Credit card inquiries, the same thing. Theft of personal property. All these things are people that have access to your information. They can take and go in there and drain them. I don't actually think it's in here, but the grandparent one, which anybody have a call that your grandson or somebody's been jammed up in jail? Again, it's the middle of the night, it's panic, so they say, I'm calling on behalf of your grandson, you know, he's been in an accident, he's in jail, all these things. The first thing is, number one, they usually ask for something stupid like, go to Western Union and give me some money there, or go buy all these gift cards and something. It's all crapola. If you have, go back to the original, right? They call and say your grandson, but don't call mom because she didn't want to know that I'm in jail and all this stuff. Time, slow it down. Make the phone calls before you do anything, because if it's legit, you're going to know very quickly if it's legit. Call the kid that they said they're calling for. You know, Joey's in the hospital, Joey's in jail, call Joey, right? This doesn't sound like Joey. No, that's because I've been in an accident, I really feel bad, I can't even hardly talk. Don't buy into it. Slow it down, make the phone calls, save yourself. Joey's going to be okay, Joey's not in jail, Joey's not in the hospital.
And one of the things you said at the beginning about that kind of, no one wants to realize their mental capacity has changed a little bit. That scam, a lot of times they call you in the middle of the night. So you don't want to wake up your kids to find out where the grandkids are. You're cloudy, you just woke up. A lot of people who have any symptoms of dementia or Alzheimer's who are older experience a little bit more difficulties at night than they do during the day after they've had rest. And again, I've had one of my great aunts was a victim of this scam. And it wasn't until after she sent the Western Union money, went to bed and woke up in the morning with her mental clarity saying, how did this, she knew right away it was a scam. She called me. I got scammed last night because I was tired. They made me scared right off the bat. And the truth was, the relative that they claimed to be, they found out he had an open Facebook account. And he had posted a couple months before a picture of he and my great aunt with her age and tagged her in Newburyport and all of this other stuff. So she had a unique last name, and they were able to get enough information about him from his Facebook account that wasn't private, and about her to get her phone number that she's had unpublished for decades, in order to say that he actually was traveling to the country that they said he was in. He was there. So they made it even that much more real, all because of social media, all because of a quick look on social media and gathering that information and knowing when to strike. I think she was 94 at the time, a 94-year-old woman, which was in the middle of the night.
It's also, Patty, the other two things, COVID has caused a COVID fog in a lot of people, which is another, but also, as we get older, Medicaid, and these doctors just, sleeping pill, okay, or, any anxiety, antidepressant, okay, they all affect your cloudiness, okay, and I says, especially the first few months of use, that's when they get you, and I'm telling you, I'm petrified that medical information through mail order and stuff is out there now.
Yeah.
Because the other day, I had a drug error. When I called Optum Health, okay, which I didn't even know who they were, okay, that's a new thing for AARP, by the way. That's what they use for mail order. I got the Philippines. And it took me 25 minutes to get an American pharmacist to say there's a drug error. And I said, but meanwhile, what's the Philippines? I said to the girl, are you a pharmacist? No. What's a pharmacist tech? And I said, what are you? I just take information. And that's a scary thought. If you're an older person and you're on 20 drugs, okay? So I'm just,
Yes.
I just want to mention that I had a certain credit card, and this must have been the credit card person was in on this. So I had call forwarding. They called my call forwarding people number. Somehow they had my number, probably from the credit card. They said that they were going to change the address. That I was going to change my address. So they, and I got married, so I had a different name. So then, the person said, well, we have to call back and verify. So when they did, they didn't get me. They got that number they had forwarded to. And they kept on sending packages to Florida. It was always Florida. But what you said was right. The credit card company didn't care. Amazon didn't care. Nobody cared. So that's how they get away with all those millions of dollars.
It's working. It works.
If they would put that money into a little, they had an address of where to go, but they just won't do it.
So a lot of those, when we've looked into those, a lot of these addresses are just drop spots. They're not valid. They're just places where people are going to pick
Go back to
up.
the dummy, right? I
Yeah.
have delivered to your front door. I stand out there waiting for the truck to show up. I grab it. I'm just a dope, right, that's getting $20.
Yeah,
And they're getting the rest of the information, so.
yeah.
Oh my
It's
God.
a
So that's
very
what-
systematic and
So we
very
have to,
intelligent
it's
system.
up to us. We have to.
It is. You need to have that cynical mind instead of being open and optimistic until I learn that this is a scam. You almost need to go into everything saying, this is a scam and prove to me that it's not.
But see, for this age group,
That's difficult.
we were brought up trusting.
Yes.
We never heard of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is the word.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's like a whole new way of thinking that we're just not used to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the things, with us here at Newbury Police Department is, I have had people walk in with their phones and be like, drop what you do, what is this? One of us helps right away. Because we do have such a high elderly population here in town, and it is so prevalent, that these scams are happening. You can come in and we will, like the chief said in the beginning, we will work to tell you this is legit or this is not legitimate. And we're here 24/7. So if you get that phone call in the middle of the night saying that Joey's in, a Nigerian jail and you need to go to Western Union, if you don't want to wake the kids up or you don't want to call Joey because you don't want to wake him up, he's got a new job and you're scared, you can always call us and we will figure it out for you.
Can I do it after the report?
Any police department will, but yes, that's what we're here for. And for us as law enforcement, it's easier to be preventative and stop you from becoming a victim than it is to investigate it once you've been victimized. So it's good time management for us to invest in the prevention, than the flip side. Yeah,
It's a win-win.
yeah, it's a win-win for sure.
Mismanagement of assets, here's another really good one where only deal with your assets with somebody you can trust. There's so many people out there now where they're asking you to invest, and I get you to invest, and I take your money and I give him a couple dividends, and I give him a couple dividends, and I just keep doing this. At the end of the day, I mean, we see some of these people in jail now for hundreds of millions of dollars, so it's hard-earned money, it's the only money you're gonna have because you're retired. Make sure you make good decisions, that you engage with people that you're sure that they, in fact, are a reputable company before you start giving them your money, because just because I get the dividend doesn't mean that I'm actually making money. I'm getting money from Joey, who just bought into the same system.
Yeah.
The financial checks, we've all been down that road. Stealing the cash, the income, the jewelry. This goes back to the thing where I said about the guy coming to your house. I come in, I look like some type of agent from the city or whatever. Something will happen in front of your house which is going to draw your attention to whatever just happened out front. They're going through your bedroom, they're going through all your stuff, and they're cleaning out the house. Well, they were supposed to be down the cellar. I need you to use your bathroom. Any of those things will get the movement. Something else is going to happen which is going to make your attention disappear. They now have free run of your house.
One of the things, like he was talking about with the simplicity of cheap money to invest in a costume, right? One thing that we had seen in town was cleaning company t-shirts. I could go make a maid cleaning shirt right now, or for a real company or a fake company, because you see their pictures online, so I know exactly how to mimic it. And if I'm gonna go door to door at people's houses and start checking doorknobs to see who leaves their house unlocked, if I get caught, I can say, oh, I'm sorry, I have a new client at 23 Cottage Road. Oh, this is 26. Oh, thank you for pointing me in the right direction. You can buy the magnets that stick on the side of the car that say Merry Maids or whoever. So again, in a situation like that, that could be somebody who is coming to case your house. I would call the police and say, hey, a very lovely woman from Merry Maids just came, thought she was at the wrong address. She just headed right out of my driveway down to the neighbors. We're gonna go and check and make sure that that person is legitimate, that we get their information, their license plate number, and that we run them out and find out that they work there. Because that's another easy way to explain why you're in someone's house when they're not home. Oh, I've got my bucket of cleaning supply. I've been cleaning your house. No, they've been running stuff out to your car, their car, stealing it with their scheme in case they got caught. So they're coming up with backup plans as to why they're there so that they can make their story believable to the elderly.
And being your age now, you have many people, many of us have different people come to our houses for some type of service. So here's where you now allow somebody in your home that you normally never would have had in there, whether it be healthcare, you've had some surgery, they bring in some type of physical therapy, that type of thing. Maintain where they lock up your valuables. Checkbooks, they usually pull the last check in the book, so now you're gonna go 25, 30 checks before you ever realize that you're missing a check or that they're taking your money. So you have a lot of services coming to your house. Not a bad thing, just be mindful. Again, there are people you don't know. These temp companies hire people all over the place, so they've only been with the company maybe a day. Be mindful where your stuff is, be mindful where they go and what access they have to your house and to your information.
And sign-in sheets. If you've got somebody where there's a number of different people coming into your house, or you have the same person every day, you can create sign-in sheets, or we'll share sign-in sheets with you. And the one thing you need to be mindful of is, nope, you don't come past that table. I need you to sign in. What's your name? What agency are you in? What time are you in? And then you have them sign out. That way, if anything has gone missing, the police, we have a list of who's been in and out of your house. But again, it's difficult to get seniors to be, oh, I'm here every day. Why do I have to keep signing in? Nope, you sign in. You need to stay firm on that one thing. It also helps with billing, with any home health aid companies that come in and you say this bill looks, high. Well, Patty was only there for 2 hours a day, but I'm getting billed for her being here 4 hours a day. Here's her sign in and out sheet. So there are different things you can do when people come into your house. Again, you need all of these services to come in, but to show that you're alert and you're on it. I'm less likely to scam somebody who's forcing me to sign in and out every day. I'm less likely to steal from that elderly person who's making me sign in and out every day, even though I'm here 7 days a week, every single time I'm here, because she's skeptical. She's on the ball. She's got her facilities where she's thinking clearly. She's being preventative. So there are different things when you have to have people come in your house, what you can do to kind of send the message, don't mess with me. Yeah.
Most of the stuff they're going to take is not something you're gonna realize is missing for a long period of time. It's what you're looking for, where's your diamond ring, or where's your earrings or something. Like, I haven't gone out in months, and all of a sudden you wanna go out, and all of a sudden, now you say to yourself, I don't know when it got stolen, I don't know who took it.
Yeah. I don't know when the last time I used that
I
credit
had
card was.
$1,000 in there, I saw that the top dollar was there, I never paid attention that, they've been taking money from it. So, just again, many of these things that are taken over time. You don't even realize that it's gone until you go to use it for something else or give it to somebody. So here's one I just got the other day, which was kind of funny, right? First thing up there, time sensitive. And for me, So, it's a warranty on my house and my stuff. Who the hell has a warranty on their stuff, right? I don't have one, but it says, it may have expired or is going to expire. Again, time sensitive immediately. And I start reading the thing like, and so I said something to my wife, and I almost thought I was going to get her to buy into this thing. That's what she didn't even chuckle. Coverage for the air conditioning, hot water heat, all that. It's all junkola, rip it up, scam it, throw it away, don't worry about it. Don't buy into the stuff that your husband or your wife used to do this, so now they've passed or they're in a nursing home or something, so now you're thinking, well, of course, he used to take care of this stuff. I don't know that, so we buy in. Don't buy into it. All right, so here comes the fun one. So I can be a pain with these people because I enjoy doing it to them. So 2 things with this. This is how many have got this call? This is the perfect time of year for it.
Sure.
Medicare. Listen to how many times this guy says Medicare card.
Sorry, call what?
That it's a call from your Medicare health insurance about your new.
So, number one, definitely an American guy, right? We're talking to somebody who's just down the street from us.
Medicare card. That you are still using the old Medicare card, right? The blue, white, and red one card. You didn't get a new Medicare card last week, right, sir?
Okay.
Yeah, so sir, that's why Medicare is providing you a new one card to your doorstep. And first, I just want to check your eligibility. Like, I just want to submit your form for your new Medicare card. Then we will pull up your profile and send you a new Medicare card to your doorstep, alright? So, sir, I have your new Medicare card number in front of me. Do you have any paper or pencil with you? Just written down your new Medicare card number, which you get after 2 to 3 working days.
Yep, go ahead.
Right, you have a paper pencil with you right now?
Yes.
And sir, do you have your Medicare health insurance card as well in your hand, the blue, white, and red one card?
Which one do you have? What's the number you have?
Like sir, I have the new number, which you get is 6 as a number, and then E as in Atlas, and then H as in Hanley, and then 1 as a number, and then W as in William, N as in Nancy, 9 as a number, and then D as in David, and then G as in George, and then 3 as a number, and then 9 as a number. Did you got it?
I got it.
And sir, so did you got it to complete? Could you just repeat it from your side so I can correct you if you are right or not?
So you're going to send me the card though, correct?
Yes, sir. like
Okay.
you're getting a new one card for your doorstep, and I just want to check your eligibility from the card which you have. So sir, kindly just grab out your Medicare health insurance card as well. You have the blue, white, and red one card which you have. I'm holding the line for you, okay?
Do you notice they don't give you time to talk? When you ask a question, they're constantly coming at you, because what happens? You don't have time to think.
What if I don't have the card with me?
Sure, because I just want to check your eligibility from that for your new Medicare card. Like I just want to submit your form for your new one card.
I don't,
And I just want to verify like there is any middle initial in your name on the card or not. That's the thing.
What's the name you have now?
Sir, kindly just grab out your Medicare health insurance card. You can have the blue, white, and red card.
You called me.
I'm holding the line for you.
Right, but I said to you, I'm driving, I don't have the card with me.
Oh, you are driving right now?
Yes.
Oh, sorry for that, sir. And any possibility that you can stop the car in the corner and grab out your Medicare card from your wallet?
Not right now, I'm on the highway.
Oh, sir.
Oh, sir.
What's the best chance I can call you back?
Can I call you back, use the government?
Yes, sir.
And can I call you back at what number?
Sir, it's a dial number. You can't call me back because other patients on the waiting list as well. That's the thing. So you tell me what's the possible chance I can call you back, and that time you are free, like,
So do you think he's done?
No,
call you.
Of course not.
it was Saturday Night's Live skit.
Okay, what are you looking for?
He's back.
Yes, sir. You have the card in your hand, the blue, white, and red one.
Yep.
Alright, sir. And it looks like blue, white, and red one, right? And on the top of the card, Medicare health insurance written, right?
Yes.
And sir, on the left side of the card, you can see your name written as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so according to your card, there is any middle initial in your name on the card, sir?
Which one, what middle initial do you have?
Sir, I don't have any middle initial, that's the thing. Like, I just want to verify from the card, like there is a middle initial written on the
Well-
card or not?
You told me you had a new card for me with my number, correct?
Yeah, sir.
Okay, so if you have a new
You have
number,
the paper pencil, the new number? Yeah, new number, just written down the number, it's 6. And the number,
I'm saying, you said to me, you have a new number for me. How do you have a new number if you don't have my name?
no, I have the new number, I am telling you the new number, sir. It's 6 as a number, D as an Edward, H as in Henry, 1 as a number. And then W as in William.
I understand all that, but I'm saying is, you're saying you have a new number for me, correct?
Yeah.
Well, how do you have a new number when you don't even know my name?
No, sir, I didn't know that. Like, I just want to verify from your side, like, there is any middle initial in your name on the...
So anyways, it goes on and on and on. But anyway, I screwed the guy. At some point I asked him, is this a scam? Oh, no, this is not a scam. So again, $3.3 billion in fraud in 2021 from consumers. It's up 1.8 billion from 2019. Again, we go back to the whole front of COVID. 34% increase in losing money, and an increase of 14% from 2019. Again, because we're home, isolation, and we're depending more and more on using other forms of communicating with people. So we go back to the codes, the Amazon, there's things all over the place that are taking your money, and it's just trying to give you an idea of where to take and put your safeguards. So now, how not to become the victim, obviously. Involve people you trust, banks, family, friends, when you're doing the decision making. Shred your old documents, don't take and just throw them in the trash. If you don't know what an email is, you don't know who it's from, delete it. Don't be curious to open it to see what it has to say, because you're going down a bad path. Research the products before you buy anything. Make sure you're buying from a reputable company. Place yourself in the do not call list or the opt-out list. That's a requirement from the federal government. So if you get something you don't like, Down the bottom is a requirement that you can opt out of that thing, and they have to take you out of there, I think it's 30 days. Your name has to be removed from that site. So if you get some email you don't want, down the bottom there's an opt-out, use that to get rid of it. Another system, you can take, your computer has some people keep putting stuff in trash. When you get junk, throw it in the what's it? Spam.
Yeah.
Thank you. Because that'll take and stop a lot of this stuff. If you look in your spam sometimes, you'll see you're getting all kinds of crapola that the computer itself has already figured out that you shouldn't be getting. Access to online banking, monitor the accounts and the activity on them. And don't make decisions that require quick deadlines. It's never going to be a good outcome. The mails, don't be polite. There are generations of being polite people. Don't be afraid to drop the phone on them in the middle of it. It doesn't hurt. Keep your information private. Don't sign documents or verbal agreements if you don't know who they are. There's a lot of home improvement people out there. Do not give them all kinds of money up front for services that are going to come in the future. Better Business Bureau, Newbury Police Department, talk to somebody before you sign any type of contract or give money to some type of contractor that they're going to take and do work for you in the future. And you never have to pay the whole bill up front. So that's just stupid. Don't ever do that. Talk to somebody, talk to some reputable the consumer company, the police department before you do these contracts. Don't second guess your instincts. You know, when you have that instinct, that's there for, it's like your alarms going off that's telling you, don't get jammed up. Trust your instincts, talk to somebody, don't make the real quick decisions. Here are some numbers that are very helpful. I'll share these with the Council on Aging so that you can give them out later so you don't have to be sitting here copying them all down. All good places to take and find out information and keep yourself aware of what's going on. Data is power. We just talked about that with Microsoft and everybody else and Google. So don't share your data. You're going to find that in the future, data is going to be the up-and-coming thing for control in the world. The more they have, the more they're going to take and use it. Thank you, and questions?
I have a comment rather than a question. Some of these phone scammers have tried to engage me and hurry up and do this, and I just say to them, just send me some paperwork through the mail. And by the way, go, send me some paperwork through the mail. Like, so
Exactly.
that'll get rid of them real fast.
I keep thinking about using a whistle, you know, like make them deaf.
And the other thing, with phone calls, there's nothing wrong with saying to anyone, whether it's a scam or not online, you're speaking too fast, slow down. I can't understand your English. Can you get somebody who I'm going to be able to understand? And that's not offensive, it's not rude. Any reputable business is going to say, please hold for my supervisor. Anytime you're speaking to somebody on the phone and you say, what's a phone number I should call you back at, and what's my reference number? Any reputable business is going to say, this is the phone number, here's the claim number, call me back. Again, clues for that scam. They're not going to want to give you the phone number to call back at. They're not going to give you the claim number. Or if you do, you bring that number to the police, we look it up for you to find out if it's a scam or not.
Take the phone number and Google it.
Google it.
Google it, yeah.
You'll see scam.
That's a real quick one. If it's a company, it's going to come back to the company. I guarantee you it's going to come back unknown.
Yes.
It's also worth noting, if you don't recognize the phone number, let it go to voicemail, let it go to your answering machine.
Yes.
If it's truly important, if it's a hospital, or the police, or your doctor, they will leave a message literally saying, can you call the office? They
Yes.
won't say, call me at X.
Yes.
If it's a robo scale, like if it's a bulk calling machine, if no one answers the phone and the voicemail picks up, be it answering machine or your cell phone or whatever, it will just give up after 2 seconds. And that will basically dodge the bullet altogether. It'll just go click and you don't have to interact with it anymore other than delete the message.
And one thing that I want to say, you know, where we have so many Newbury residents in the room is one of the recent scams, like you had mentioned, is from our legitimate phone number downstairs, somebody was calling around town saying that they were collecting money for the Newbury Police Association. The Newbury Police Department does not solicit money from anyone ever for any reason. But again, it's that it pops up with the number you know is Newbury Police Department, with Newbury Police Department as the caller ID. So again, that pause and verify is a good way to stop yourself from being victim as well.
Yes.
I have a phone filter on my phone, so if you are not in my call list, it will not ring. It will show up, and it's up to me if I want to call it back. And I used to get so many calls, now I don't, thank God.
But that's,
And
that could be,
I used to go into the FTC if I got a crazy email, but I've stopped doing that. I just put everything into spam, and it makes my life a little
There
easier.
you go, for sure.
what you just said, what my wife did the same thing.
Yeah, thank
She put things people not in contact.
We're gonna go over it together, but I want you guys to be able to take this one.
Very helpful.
Your doctor was using his private phone, he wasn't in the contact,
It costs
a major call didn't go through. So you gotta be careful of that
I'd
too.
rather pay the money.
Any other questions?
I just want you to know that I had a problem, and between Aaron and the Newburyport Bank, I got all my money back through the court system.
Yeah, she's really fortunate.
Yes.
At times, I've been even reluctant to say, use the word yes. I've gotten calls, may I speak, are you the owner of the home? I might say, speaking, but my understanding is that sometimes if it's a recorded thing and you say yes, you've inadvertently signed up to something used against you.
Yep.
And the other thing is, I get tired of seeing Joe Namath on television saying, you know, this is like it's Social Security, Medicare, free dentures, free hearing aids. It's an insurance company. It's nothing to do with,
It's definitely this time of year.
yeah.
But I'll take Joe Namath over the other guy that got the oh my God, he's awful.
Yeah.
I never said you when you started, I don't want you to think the world's out to get you. You know, you think the world's out to get you.
Unfortunately, it's a very big business today. They make a lot of money. If you talk to these guys who are in jail, they'll tell you they get up in the morning, they have a cup of coffee, if they call 30 people, they get 5 people, they made a good day's pay. And they never left the house. So it's big business. And it is all doom and gloom, but it is protect your information, slow down, think about things, and communicate with other people that you trust. Will get you out of a lot of things, and don't be under the assumption ever that you're gonna do something, or they're gonna bring you someplace to fix something because you're going someplace bad. Just be aware, you know, it's, no matter where you are. I mean, you go to a game or something, I didn't mention, you know, you're buying tickets to a play or something, you know, and there's a good deal online, you're gonna get them off of Amazon or something, you get them off of, what's the other one, Craigslist, you know, half price. You give them the money. You show up at the ball game, and you just got tickets to the World Series or the Super Bowl for half price. You get to the thing, they all look perfect. You get to the thing, it doesn't work, it's junk, you know. If somebody's giving you something and it doesn't look right, don't do it. And certainly, like the sports things, don't ever buy into the sports things because you're going to buy a bad ticket. They look 100% real. These people spend a lot of money to do the right thing. It's just that when you get to the scanner, it ain't gonna work.
Even MLB, I got a ticket for game 5 of the year, and I bought it to MLB, and that was almost a scam because somebody hacked them. Everyone's being hacked right now, that's the other thing. Everyone's being hacked.
I don't have any of it, so I don't even have to work.
Which is a scary thing.
Okay, thank you, folks.
Tom, excellent job. Thank you.
So we've got a test in front of you that you don't actually have to take. We'll go through it as a group. And then I'm going to want to give the bank and the Council on Aging an opportunity to speak as well, but I want you to be able to go home with this, with the correct answers, in case you need to reference it again. So, first question, you purchase a birthday gift for a friend from a small online boutique. The seller sends you a message that says your order didn't go through due to technical difficulties with the site. They request that you send your billing information to her via email, and she promises quicker 2-day shipping in return for the hassle. Should you email that billing information?
No.
No, correct, good, everyone. Reputable sellers will not be asking you for any of your billing information. An appropriate thing that you could do is try to ask the seller when the site will be working again, if it's safer for you to resubmit that way. The other thing with online purchases is you're going to want to make sure, a lot of people just throw in a Google search, I need a winter scarf, beautiful Christmas winter scarf, and you click on the links, the first links that come up. You want to make sure that they're secure websites, and when you go to the billing page, that there's the little lock on top of it. You're going to want to look at that URL address to make sure that it's consistent with what the company should be. So only purchase things online from reputable sellers, even if there's non-reputable sellers trying to sell you the things that you're actually looking for. All right, so that one is no. I see some red flags here. Number 2, you receive a Facebook message from an acquaintance you haven't talked to in a long time. The message simply says, hey, this is so funny, click here, with a link. You remember the person had a really good sense of humor. Do you click the link or not?
No.
No. Facebook has recreated my mother's Facebook account and tried to friend request friends she's already been friends with dozens of times. And a lot of times it's through tricks like this, through the private messenger or text where you're clicking links to, like Tom said, send you to places you don't want to go. Think of the internet as buildings, right? You have a nice store you're going to walk into. You feel comfortable there. If I was going to walk you to a shady building that's run down and broken down and doesn't look like a legitimate business, you'd stop. Why are you taking me here? The problem with the internet is you can't see that it looks like a legitimate business or not when we're trying to walk you through the door, because it's just simply a click. Yeah?
I get text messages from people at church, neighbors that have moved, and they say, how's it going? I was thinking about you, how you doing? And then you go, oh, fine, they get back, oh, I'm doing fine too. I have come across this investment opportunity. When I get text messages from people, I just don't pay attention to them. And they may be real now.
Exactly. And a lot of times, when you look at those text messages, I think to myself, is this how a real conversation starts with somebody who I haven't spoken to in a bit? Yeah. And a lot of times if you pause, instead of getting excited about the possibility of hearing from someone you haven't spoken to in a while, you say, this isn't how.
This isn't spoken because it's text.
But I mean, when you read it,
yes.
Usually if I'm going to text you and I haven't texted you in a while, I'm going to be saying, hey, Amy, is this still you? It's Patty, I haven't seen you in a bit. You know what I mean? There's a way you engage through text instead of just jumping straight into a conversation with someone you haven't spoken to.
And a lot of these, I noticed, they come from Facebook. They
Yes.
have the picture, and it's a Facebook picture.
Yeah. All you have to do is open a picture on Facebook that's public, that has the little globe next to it, and you can tap the picture and save. I can save it to my phone, I can save it to my computer, I can take your profile image, whatever it is, and save it and create a whole new Facebook account using your picture from it. And then start sending friend requests using your picture, and then I can start sending them messages. The other thing with Facebook too is there's no real reason to have your cell phone number linked to Facebook. They're constantly asking for it. Update all of your options. Update all of your user options. There's no real reason to link your phone number to any of your social media on that. And like he said, I have one email address that's what I use for purchases and social media, and then I have another email address I use for friends. So that when I start getting those Facebook notifications to my private email address, I know that right off the bat that it's a scam. Yeah.
Stage just left the station. I was going to ask you a question, then went down with what you were just saying.
Yeah.
I had another question, but it'll come back to me.
Okay. So that one is, of course, the no. I see some red flags here. Number 3, you want to download a mobile app from a trusted source. The permission requires including, it requires you include knowing your location, and other personal information. Is it safe to download the app?
No.
So on this one, if it's a trusted app, a trusted source, a lot of them do need your information in order to access it, but it's completely fine to say no. But if it's, again, that trusted source, something you trust, it might need your information on that one. Again, always err on the side of caution for that.
Train came back in, 'cause on the Facebook question,
Yeah.
if your mom was hacked, is there any way you can delete it yourself? Or do you have to go through Facebook? There's gotta be a way to
So there's a way you can report the
delete.
page.
Okay.
So there's a way you can go on them and report the page
So you
as
can't delete it
fraudulent.
yourself?
No,
Okay.
no, because when anything that you make public online, you don't own anymore.
Right.
This is what we run into a lot of times with kids, and they're texting pictures and things like that. Once it's out online, like
It's
if
online.
it's public and it's not secure, it's up for grabs.
Okay.
So that's why a lot of people keep like their profile pictures and their,
You know how much, what kind of turnaround time? Facebook or?
I don't.
Because, I mean, that's serious stuff.
And it's happening constantly.
Oh, yeah.
It's happening constantly.
And especially, once again, since the pandemic, people are lonely.
Yeah.
And they're reaching out any way they can for you in contact.
Yeah. But then there's safeguards through social media as well if you need it, making sure that everything is private, that there's no reason to link all of your family members. I'm related to this whole list of things, because again, that gets you down that rabbit hole of, well, I now know Mike is related to this person, who then I see is related to this
Most
person. I can scam them and use Mike and that person in a
Most
scam.
people don't want to say they're related to me.
So you're shopping for cars online when a small window pops up that says, congratulations, you're the owner. You're our 10,000th visitor. Claim your prize now. It shows a picture of the type of car you were interested in buying. It also shows a timer counting down from 10 seconds. So you have to respond quickly. No. You went to a website to download software for your computer, and it redirected you to another site showing products you want, along with multiple download now buttons and ads. Is it safe to click any of those?
No.
Never click the links. Never click the links. While installing a new program for a trusted source, you get a warning message from your computer operating system that running the program could potentially be harmful to your system. Is it okay to proceed with this installation?
No.
Again, this is another one of those gray ones, like legitimate things that you download if you're downloading a Microsoft update for whatever reason. It will give you warnings that it will potentially, your system isn't strong enough for this or whatever, but it's not asking you to click anything, right? So if you know the source of what you're downloading, you purchased the update from Microsoft and you're the one physically downloading it, then that's just a warning that your computer is giving you saying, hey, this program might not run optimally because of your computer setting, but it's not asking you to do anything, it's just giving you a warning, so then that's okay to click yes and continue to go by. Or again, if you're unsure, freeze and ask someone. You've got at your disposal 24/7.
With regards to the computer, if you bought something and you don't know, because you bought it, you have support. That, like you said a couple times, time is on your side.
Yeah.
Stop, contact tech support. Hey, it says I need to change this, or I need to be an admin. Do I need to do this? Yes, you do. Or, no, you have the wrong file, don't do that.
Yes.
You have, like you said, you have time.
Yes. There's nothing urgent about that box that shows up. There's no counter, there's no ticker, there's no nothing, so that's perfect. You receive an email from your granddaughter with the subject line "so cute," and it contains an attachment but no message. The attachment's file name does not offer any clue as to what the file may contain. You assume she just didn't have time to write a message because she's always so busy. Should you open the attachment to see what's so cute? No. And again, this goes back to the lonely piece, right? Oh, my great-granddaughter reached out to me. I want to see what's going on. I want to see what's going new. It's so hard not to click that link. But clicking links is always usually bad. So that one is a red flag. You receive an email from the IRS saying you owe taxes related to the Affordable Care Act. The notice is labeled CP 2000 for the most recent tax year. The email instructs payment to be sent to the IRS care of Austin, Texas Post Office Box. The email states, if your payment is not received in the next 5 days, an IRS agent will sign a warrant for your arrest. Do you send the payment? No. Guess what? Come here, folks. If you think there's a warrant out for your arrest, we'll let you know. You know, like give us a call, stop by. The answer most of the time is no. You know, especially on something like that. That's right. So number 9, you signed up online to get email updates and coupons from a local store you shop at frequently. You later receive an email from the store asking you to click the link below to verify your email address, even though you've already given them permission. Do you click the link? No, they already have it. That's a scam. You receive a text message from a number you don't recognize. The message says, "Hi, how are you?" You respond by saying, "Who's this?" And they reply, "Kelly, remember this?" and send you a link. You vaguely remember Kelly and used to know, but you're bad with names and would feel embarrassed if you couldn't remember an old friend. Do you click the link for more clues? No. Again, my mom had that one. She couldn't remember. No, don't ever click anything without checking. So, do you guys want to come up and offer anything about the services you offer and how they should contact you guys if you're available?
I just, what I'll say is my card is in the gift that is there. So if you have any questions, we just can't reiterate enough. If you ever are in doubt with something, you're ever questioning anything, reach out to your local bank. They'll happily sit with you, go through what questions you have. Please don't be embarrassed because you're not alone. This happens, unfortunately, all too often. I had 2 customers within 2 days last month. Both had fraud. They both had given out all their information. We make sure that we shut everything down. We close out their account immediately. We sat with her and called Social Security, so nothing was delayed with her, getting her money in her accounts. But again, it's just so important. Just pause, take time, and reach out to your bank, because we're not going to call you. We're not going to ask you for your information over the phone. Yes.
Sometimes I close out without saying log out from my online account, and then what happens? Is my information
No, it should.
It'll automatically sign you out.
Right.
I could talk to that.
Okay, absolutely.
If you, when in doubt, click sign out. If you don't click sign out and no one touches your computer, like you said, you're probably fine. There's a little thing that says, hey, you haven't been on in enough minutes and we'll boot you off.
Feature will log
If
you
no
out.
one else touches your computer, you're fine. In fact, I advise my grandfather to, because he's the only one on the computer, just close it, keep it simple. If no one touches it, you're fine.
And to piggyback on that a bit, make sure you're signing into anything that has to do with your bank from secure accounts. From secure computers. Try to avoid going to the library and using a computer there to log in. You want to log in from something that's yours, if at all possible.
And if you're having trouble logging in, you can come to the branch too, and we can help log you in. So that's.
You're always so responsive when I call up if I'm having.
And we can usually see your activity, if your password's wrong, your user ID, and you might say, I haven't been trying to log on. So it's very possible, so we can kind of have some insight.
So we should never log in from a bar.
Don't log in from a bar. No, that's a bad idea. That's a bad idea.
I just want to say that the tellers at this bank are so helpful and so nice. I got a phone call one day from this, and I was like, I went right to the branch, and they looked at my account and said everything was okay. You didn't tell them anything, and I said I didn't. And
No, it's a great bank.
it is. They are so nice.
Thank you.
Thanks for sponsoring this.
And that's why we did this, because again, Amanda and I all too often, unfortunately, on a weekly basis, we see this. And we, as parents, we wouldn't want this to happen to them. So we just want to make sure that, again, when in doubt, please call us.
And I want to explain one of the gifts that you have in front of you, the black sleeve that a card can fit in. So you might have credit cards or debit cards that have that kind of signal sign on it. And let's say you're at Market Basket, you can tap your card instead of inserting it, you can tap your card on it and it pays that way.
Where is it? Different type of chip though.
No, this is different than the chip.
Right.
This is if you have that,
Okay.
usually, it's usually next to the chip or
Okay.
above the chip that you'll see that.
Yeah, if you have what?
I might have made, so hold on, I want to make sure this is dark enough for everyone to see. So if on one of your cards, you have
Oh, right.
that,
The radio frequency.
the radio frequency symbol, right? So that, these card holders right here are the RFDI cards, so you would take that card, put it in here, and you can still tap those devices to pay, but if anyone has a reader, right, because that little signal, it's sending a little signal. So there's readers that when you're using that card can steal that signal. This blocks those readers from working, so it makes it so the store readers still work,
That's good to know.
but the scam artists can't sit there with their device and steal your card information. Yes,
Does it also mean that if you had a credit card in there, they can't scan it, right?
yes, yes.
But you can do that, excuse me, with, like, this is a kind of case that does the same thing. You read it, they can't read this.
Yes, they make purses and wallets for that as well.
And just as an aside, a lot of time this happens more towards the holidays too. People put skimmers on gas tanks, gas
Oh, yeah.
pumps. They
Yes.
put them on ATM machines. When you go up, just kind of pull where the card is,
Wiggle.
and sometimes you can pull it right off. Some are getting a little trickier and they're putting something actually inside the card slot, so that's a little harder to combat, but just as it doesn't hurt to kind of pull it.
Yes.
I probably look like a fool, I do it all the time.
I do it on all of them. But it'll wiggle. If that part where you insert your card is loose at all, don't use that pump, that payment method.
So is a recommendation,
Or you could just go inside.
I'm getting a recommendation, don't use your debit card. For like, if you go to like Prime Gas, don't use your debit card because they'll have access to that card.
Well, no, so if you're using it at the pump,
Yeah.
so your debit card, as long as you're seeing where it's going.
But she's saying there's something in there to read my numbers.
Well, no, if someone can put anything, they can put skimmers on machines.
Right.
Yes.
So if there's a skimmer on there,
How
They'll-
fast can they empty a debit card though? It's
Pretty fast.
pretty fast.
pretty fast,
So-
yeah.
So my card got skimmed 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And by the time I got cash out of a shady ATM machine, I wiggled the thing, it was sturdy as could be, I put the card in, I got the cash, and within 20 minutes, I had a text from my bank saying, did you just attempt to make a $1,800 purchase? I called the bank 800 number on the back of the card, because they didn't ask me to click anything on the link, called the bank, and they were like, yeah, we sent you that. And I was like, yep, well, my card just got skimmed.
Can you can't use that thing,
No, this is just for when you have that for the touch.
Just go inside.
Mhm.
Last question.
Yeah.
So let's say if you're in like Macy's offers their Wi-Fi, or you sign on, don't use their Wi-Fi?
I don't use Wi-Fi that isn't secure.
Okay,
That's my
alright.
standing.
All right.
You
so-
go to the coffee shop and you wanna, you're sitting at Panera, and you wanna get some work done while you have a cup of coffee.
Make sure
Don't do it. You only go on secure
Okay.
Wi-Fi websites.
Comcast has hotspots everywhere, and when you're on, it'll say, this is not a secure.
Yeah, do not log into unsecure Wi-Fi accounts. Yeah.
I can't find
Um,
I don't have a computer. I had to do it.
I'm gonna turn it, unless there's any other questions or comments? All right, I want to turn it over to the Council on Aging.
All right, so we just wanted to thank everybody for coming. We're so happy to have such a great turnout. We hope you learned something. You are heading home with a few gifts, the Newburyport Bank, obviously the Newbury Police Department, and then this is from the Council on Aging. It's called Guard Your ID. It's like a little stamp that you roll over when you have, mail that comes in or your prescription bottles. You can black out your private information. So instead of throwing things away, or if you don't have a shredder, you can use that to block off a lot of the private information. So those are all things for you to take home. The Newburyport Bank also has bags, so you have a bunch of things. We're gonna give you some bags too. And lunch, everything, and there's brownies on the way out too. So don't forget to grab a brownie. But we're very glad everybody came. Thank you very much.